Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the incredibly complex dynamics that will decide India's next government in 2029. Now, we're not here to make predictions. Nope. What we are going to do is explore the pure political reality on the ground.
All right, let's jump right in. Look, to really get a handle on what's coming, we've got to shift our focus. It's not about who might win. It's about the core political realities, right? The real questions that are going to shape this massive, monumental event for more than 1 billion people. So to really get to the heart of this thing, we need to get inside the voter's head. What are they thinking? When it all comes down to it, what really matters? Well, it boils down to 5 fundamental questions. Questions that pretty much every single voter is going to be asking themselves. And these 5 questions, they are the absolute bedrock of the entire political battle. You see how they build on each other? It starts with the super practical stuff, can I get a job? Then it moves to the more strategic, like who actually seems like a stable, strong leader? And it all ends with the most personal question of all. Who gets me? Who connects with my life, my worries? This right here is the framework, both emotional and logical, that voters are going to use to make their big decision. Okay, so with that framework in mind, let's take a look at the ruling party, the BJP. By the time 2029 rolls around, they'll have been in power for a full 15 years. That's a huge milestone, and believe me, it brings with it some massive advantages, but also some pretty serious challenges.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? You can see the core tension laid out right here. On one side, you've got this incredibly powerful organized machine, a strong leader, a clear national message. But then, on the other side, you see what 15 years in power does. It's like a natural force. You've got voter fatigue setting in and local issues starting to bubble up and push back, kind of like a strong headwind. So the million-dollar question is, can that powerful machine keep pushing through that growing resistance on the ground?
All right, let's flip the coin and look at the opposition. How are they shaping up to mount a challenge in 2029? Well, they're facing a totally different, but, an equally complex set of problems.
Yeah, this slide really gets to the heart of it. Over here on the left, you see the clear opportunity, right? There's a path there to challenge the incumbent's fortress by tapping into those real voter concerns we talked about. But the reality for the opposition? It often looks more like what's on the right, this complex maze of different leaders, different ideas, all trying to find one single path forward. Honestly, their biggest challenge isn't just the ruling party, it's unifying themselves. It's about becoming a single, coherent alternative that voters can actually trust.
Politics in India is almost always local. It's won or lost at the state level. And the national result in 2029, it's going to absolutely hinge on what happens in just five crucial battleground states. And together, these states represent a huge chunk of the entire parliament.
First up, the big one, the behemoth, Uttar Pradesh. We're talking 80 seats. It is, without a doubt, the biggest political prize in the whole country. Let me put it simply. The road to power in Delhi runs straight through UP. If you've got national ambitions, a strong performance here isn't just important, it's non-negotiable.
Next up, with 48 seats, we've got Maharashtra. And this state, this is the wild card. Seriously, the politics here are all about constantly shifting alliances, leadership drama. It's what makes it maybe the most politically unstable and unpredictable battleground as we head towards 2029.
Then there's West Bengal with 42 seats. Now this one's different. It's not some big multi-party scramble. Nope, this is a fierce head-to-head fight. You've got the regional powerhouse, the TMC, going toe-to-toe with the national ambitions of the BJP. And whatever happens here is going to send a huge signal about the national balance of power.
And on to Bihar with 40 seats. Here, the election is just a different beast. It's an incredibly emotional and complex battlefield. Victory isn't about broad strokes. It's forged in these really intricate, caste-based alliances. Getting that social arithmetic just right is everything. That makes it an absolutely critical state for any national coalition to crack.
And finally, we have Karnataka with its 28 seats. People often call this the gateway to the South, and for good reason. For the big national parties, this is the ultimate test. Can their message actually break through the powerful regional dynamics down here? It's a key battle to either establish a foothold or defend one in a really important part of the country. So, when you lay it all out like this, it just brilliantly shows you how concentrated this whole political battle really is. Think about it. The results in just these 5 states, a whopping 238 seats, are going to essentially set the entire national chessboard. They will very likely determine who gets to form the next government.
But beyond all the parties and the geography, an election always comes down to people. Always. So to really understand 2029, we have to look at the key groups of voters and, maybe more importantly, the powerful stories, the narratives that are actually going to move them.
Okay, so these are the 5 groups that, together, hold the keys to victory. You've got the youth, who are just desperate for jobs. You have women, a huge and often decisive voting bloc. You've got farmers, who can literally swing rural India one way or the other. Then there's the aspirational urban middle class. And of course, the foundational caste and community groups. The party that wins is going to be the one that can somehow build a coalition out of all these different and often competing interests.
And this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it might be the most important one. It's not just about policies, it's not just about the math, it's about the story, the national narrative that connects with the hopes, the fears, the deep-down emotions of all those voters we just talked about.
So really, it all comes down to the winning story. What's the election going to be about? Is it going to be about economic growth and jobs, or will it be framed around national security and stability? Are voters going to go for the appeal of a single strong leader, or will they prefer a more collective vision for the future? Look, the side that wins won't be the one that just lists policies. It'll be the side that crafts the most compelling, the most emotionally powerful narrative across these key themes. That's who's going to win.
So at the end of the day, the 2029 election is going to present India with a really fundamental choice about where it's headed. Is it going to be a vote for continuity, sticking with the current government? A vote for correction, a little tweak of the course? Or will it be a vote for complete and total change? That is the final, massive question, and it's one that only India's voters can answer.